Now, right from the start, you might notice that this video is fully subtitled on screen. That's because the man we're going to be talking about today, Curtis Pride, is deaf. And it'd be wrong to make a video on a person who's deaf and make it so that people who are deaf don't know what's being said. For a huge part of my life now, I would genuinely consider Curtis Pride one of my heroes. One of the things that I had in childhood that helped cement my love for baseball was MLB 06 The Show, a game where I got to play as legends such as June Bong, Ngai Kroll, Reggie Stocker, and the lowest rated Pirates player in the game. Also in that game was Curtis Pride. Ever since young me first learned about Curtis Pride's story, he's always been an inspiration to me, and I cannot wait to get on with doing my best to do it justice. Curtis Pride has been deaf since the day he was born, but that never limited his athletic ability. A three-sport athlete in baseball, soccer, and basketball, Curtis was just as good, if not better, at soccer as a kid than baseball. At one point, he was considered a top 15 youth soccer prospect in the world. Think about how global soccer is and how small the number 15 is in that context. Someone who could potentially have gone to school with Curtis spoke very highly of his talents and his classmates' perception of him. Don't think I forgot about his basketball talents, where he seriously beat Michael Jordan, but Curtis liked to play baseball even more. As he would later say in a New York Times article, "It's my life, I was going to do whatever I wanted." A 10th round pick by the 1986 Mets, yes, those 1986 Mets, Curtis slowly but surely grinded his way through the minors. Oh hey, did I mention that Curtis was also a starting point guard in college basketball while playing minor league baseball? And he got his degree in 4 years? Just an unbelievable work ethic on display here. While the 17-year-old that the Mets drafted would not crack the big leagues with them, he exploded in 1993 once he joined the Montreal Expos organization. His power and base stealing numbers turned into that of a top prospect, and the Expos called him up in September of 1993 in the thick of a pennant race. I feel like a lot of people take their sense of hearing for granted. Without hearing, any song that you like, any sound you find appealing, the voice of anyone you want to hear, that's all gone. Now envision how difficult it must be to be a rookie in the major leagues without hearing. No crack of the bat, no banter with teammates, no hearing your coaches try to talk to you, and maybe worst of all, no hearing the cheers from the crowd. I can't possibly imagine what that would be like, let alone as a first-time big leaguer in the heat of a playoff push. However, Curtis is fortunate enough to be fluent enough in speech to be reasonably understood, according to a teammate. He also does have about 5% residual hearing and is a fluent lip reader. With that being said, John Boy could probably use your help, Curtis. So with all that established, Curtis Pride came up to the plate in the 7th inning of a 3-run game with 2 men on between the 2nd place Expos and 1st place Phillies. And his first ever big league hit came here. He brought in 2 with a double to make it a 1-run game. Curtis said he could feel the cheers. The 1993 Expos did not make the playoffs, and Curtis did not play for the infamous 1994 Expos team. He became a free agent after the 1995 season and signed with the Detroit Tigers. 1996 would be the best season of Curtis Pride's career. He hit 300 with 10 home runs, 11 stolen bases, a .513 slugging percentage, a .383 weighted on base average, and 122 OPS plus, among other impressive totals in just 93 games. Curtis provided a much-needed beacon of light on a Tigers team that lost 109 games. He also won the Tony Conigliero Award in 1996, an award recognizing a player who best exemplifies overcoming adversity in a given season. Named for a player whose potential Hall of Fame career and life were cut short by on-field injury. But with the 1996 season, Curtis's biggest accomplishment yet came to fruition. He became both the first deaf player to debut since World War II and the first to play a full season of baseball since 1908, when Teddy Roosevelt was president and you could get a new car for $900. This is probably as good a time as any to mention that Curtis is not actually the first deaf player in Major League history. There have been a small handful of other deaf players in baseball's history, mostly in the game's very early years. Time for a small tangent about the most successful deaf player by far, Billy Hoy, a walk and stolen bases machine in the 19th century. There are rumors that Hoy is the player who had a role in prompting umpires to make safe and out call gestures, and while these aren't definitively proven, that's yet another element of baseball taken for granted by those with the ability to hear. Hoy was invited back to throw out the first pitch of Game 3 of the 1961 World Series when he was 99 years old. He was given a standing ovation to see the love from the crowd, and he passed away 2 months later. I'm sure that moment meant a lot to him. While not the first deaf player in pro baseball history, Curtis Pride stuck around for a good while in the modern baseball landscape. To contextualize when Curtis was playing compared to his predecessors, the previous deaf MLB player was teammates with Boom Boom Beck. Curtis played with Derek Jeter and Chipper Jones and Bartolo Colon. While he never again matched his 1996 form, he bounced around between a handful of MLB teams, indie ball, and in Mexico. When all was said and done, Curtis played professionally for 23 seasons, even playing in 2 playoff games with the Angels in 2004. After his career ended, Curtis and his wife started the Together with Pride Foundation to assist hard of hearing kids and their families. But wait until you hear about what else he's done in retirement. Curtis Pride has been the head coach at D3 Gallaudet University since 2009. Gallaudet is a college for deaf students. Is there a more perfect man to coach baseball for a team of young deaf players than Curtis Pride? As I said before, Curtis Pride has long been one of my heroes in life. Born without the ability to hear, he has made the absolute most of his life in the face of adversity. I can't imagine how easy it would have been to sulk or quit on countless occasions, but all that time, he stuck with it and played pro baseball longer than I have been alive to this point. I've always admired that. Why don't we let him tell you a little about it himself?
I refused to give up, although there were several times when I thought about quitting. I also knew that if I kept believing myself and kept working hard, that I would eventually make it to the major leagues.
To me, Curtis also represents that a strong work ethic and constantly overcoming adversity will eventually be recognized by the good people in the world. He has had some endorsements from high places, too. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred named him an ambassador of inclusion for the league, and President Barack Obama named him to the President's Council for Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition, which exists in part to promote and provide, quote, physical activity for all Americans, regardless of background or ability. I saved my favorite moment from Curtis Pride's career to be the last thing I show in this video. In 2003, Curtis played 4 games with the New York Yankees. He had 1 hit as a Yankee, and it came in his very first of those 4 games. It was a Sunday afternoon Red Sox-Yankees game in July at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees were up 3-1 when Curtis Pride led off the bottom of the 6th inning. This is what happened.
Long fly ball to center field. Going back, Damon. Still back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya! A home run for Curtis Pride.
The crowd is fully aware that Curtis Pride is deaf. Yankee fans gave him a standing ovation with over 50,000 people clapping for him so that he could see and probably feel what he could not hear. An unbelievably emotional moment you probably have never seen before. This is something that's much bigger than baseball. Bigger than athletics themselves even. This is a part of what makes sports such a lovable thing all around the world. This moment shows that there is good in sports, and that there is good in this world.